Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's August 14th, 2020, and today I got a comment and a request from one of my viewers on a video that I posted back on April 15th, 2020. That's when I decided to share with the universe that I had the infection, and it's the infection that's affecting the whole world at this point. And I have given a couple of health updates since then, so if you wanted to see what I have to say about this infectious disease process, I would say on my channel, on the YouTube channel, under the search bar at the top or at the right side of the screen, I'd click on that and put in health update. I haven't made a health update in probably 2 months now, and I've really thought about creating a health update, but I don't have any blood work or any other diagnostic information to share with you regarding it. But I can tell you what my body has been experiencing. But before I do that, I would say that this is not a simple respiratory virus. This doesn't just affect the lungs. As you've seen in my health updates, it affects the brain, the heart, the lungs, the vascular system, the vessels, causing vasculitis. It causes coagulopathies, both large vessel and large vessel problems, myocardial heart inflammation, arrhythmias, vertigo, lethargy, and it really affects the immune system as well. So and we won't know enough about this inflammatory process for a couple of years. This infection creates many different levels, gradations of inflammatory responses throughout the body systems, affecting multi-body systems. And it probably affects people to certain degrees, as been reported widely in the media. However, we don't know those people who have very mild symptoms, does this have long-lasting, chronic, debilitating processes that have yet to yield their ugly faces? So with that said, so basically what I'm trying to say is it's too early to tell how much of an impact this will have on people all around the world at different age groups, and how this will potentially manifest clinically differently in different people throughout time. It isn't something to take lightly. So up to date with what's been going on with me. Certainly lethargy, my energy level. Now, those of you who watch the channel, I get lots of comments just how hard of workers Thea and I are. Thea also had the infection before I had it. I had it more severe clinical manifestations, more systemically, multi-systems. And people will look at us and think, wow, look how much they're doing and all. Well, I'm not able to do nearly as much as I was able to. Still, at this point, by 4:35 p.m., I'm done. I'm basically wasted my body, resources, energy. My clinical manifestations start to appear more. And if I overdo it, like in the heat, then I actually suffer the next day as well, some of the manifestations. So what are some of the things that I do have? So I have chest pains at times. So when I'm overdoing it, I'll get back pain, chest pains, and headaches that come on like this. My rhythm is, my pulse rate is very regular, but it's faster. Now my resting heart rate used to be about 46, 48 beats per minute. Because I've always been, well, not always, but in recent years I've been very, very active, eat very well, and have taken really good care of myself. And we're whole food, plant-based people, and we only consume organic, non-GMO stuff. So, and most of which we grow here, and we choose those crops that are really nutrient dense. So that's just to give you an idea. So I wouldn't say that we're vegan, because often people who are vegan eat very unhealthy. Some of the foods that are available for meat replacements aren't necessarily great. They're high in saturated fats and salts and all, and this isn't a video on those things. So I just want to make it clear, we're whole food, plant-based, and we're very active people, positive thinking people, and we're able to maintain high activity levels because we're out here in the country and have the gardens and the food forests and all of those sorts of things. But my energy level is probably 50% of what my energy level was before this virus infection. And I'm also experiencing manifestations of disease processes that had resolved in the past. For example, in 1991, I had a severe fall. I shattered my talus in my ankle. I broke my jaw, took out my jugular, and so I was in cast for a while. Everything's turned out pretty darn well, but at that time, that severe concussion that I had when I did the fall, I had a labyrinthian concussion, so the ear is broken up into the external ear, the middle ear, and then the inner ear. And we have this semicircular vestibular cochlear apparatus that sits inside of the ear. And I've done videos on this stuff in the past. But these help us to know, it's like a gimbal or a gyroscope. It helps you to know where you are in space. And I currently develop, as a result, something that had resolved. Now, it had never, the ramifications of this injury that I had in 91, never 100% completely resolved. So when I first had the concussion, it felt like I had to hold on to everything because everything was spinning. When I laid flat for a couple of weeks initially, I was constantly nauseous, vomiting, because it was like being so severely drunk that the whole room is spinning and you're holding on to everything and all. And it got to the point where that resolved over time, and I could, let's say, do maintenance, do an oil change on the tractor, get under the truck, change brake lines, do whatever it was that needed to be done here, because I could get myself in a prone position, so that's belly down. Supine is where the belly's up and you're on your back. I could get in these positions and turn my head without getting nystagmus, where your eyes are twitching back and forth, and you can become very nauseous. Well, since I've had the virus, that's come back. So I'm not getting up on the greenhouse. I'm not going to do those things because all I have to do is change my head position rapidly and I will lose my balance. And even though I'm standing up, I'll fall down. I have to be very careful, like just doing the maintenance work on the tractors and the various equipment here, because I have to be very much aware and hold on to things, even just removing the drain plug on the lawnmower, anything that I'm doing. So I have this positional nystagmus. If I turn my head a certain way, I have nausea as a result of it as well. My vasculitis, I had showed that I had bruising before when I'd overextend things. That's resolved to a certain point. I had an injury years ago in the 80s where I was operating a piece of equipment and got thrown from it, and I injured my shoulder, my elbow, and my wrist. And those joints bother me at this point as well. If I overdo it on with my legs and my knees and all, working in the gardens, I'll feel more discomfort, and that will last for a while. But the two things that I would say are the most frustrating for me are the nausea, the positional nystagmus. So whenever it's vertigo, basically, getting very nauseous and losing your balance. So that's extremely frustrating for me at this point. The fatigue, I used to be able to go well past sunset and work real hard right up into that point, sleep 3, 4, 5 hours and be ready to go again. Now, in recent years, I've been sleeping more 6 to 7 hours at night because I realize the health benefits and the beneficial aspects it has, not just on longevity, but on our health span, how well we feel over time. But right now I just get wiped right out by 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'm really, now I lost my sense of taste and smell before. They're all back completely, but now I'm super sensitive to internal combustion engine exhausts. So things like the working with the diesel equipment that I work with, the tractor and the excavator, that also triggers some nausea as well. The aches that I get with my limb, that I can deal with. That isn't too bad. The chest pains, I just stop at those times when I'm doing it and try to relax. I don't think I'm having a myocardial infarction. My circulatory system has improved a lot. And the issues with my respiration, it took a long time before I got my pulse ox, my lungs' ability to oxygenate my red blood cells, and we use a pulse oximeter, and I've showed that before putting on your finger. I am now oxygenating my cells at 98, 99% now, so that's improved. Do I think there's some lung scars as a result of that infection? Sure. Yeah, that's probably the case. But that isn't a big concern to me. That's a relatively mild concern. The chronic inflammatory processes that can become exacerbated are an issue. Hearing, that's another thing I would say. My hearing has decreased somewhat as a result of the infection as well. So I just wanted to give you a bit of an update on some of these things that I've been aware of for quite some time. I've thought many times about making another video to give you a health update, and I'll probably do one again in a couple of months as well to share with you what I've been experiencing, and the way that I'm dealing with it is I really believe in staying physically active, getting good nutrition, doing things for our mental and spiritual and emotional state. So being down there working in either being in the food forest or being down there in around the beaver dams and down the access roads, that's so beneficial spiritually, emotionally for me. It's my core base. It's what I'm made of, and that really is very fulfilling. Certainly, eating well. Years ago we eliminated just about everything in the world that's bad for us, and I'll be doing more videos about improving the nutritional content of the foods that you're growing on your own site. And those things that we purchase, we avoid anything that isn't organic, even though I'll tell you at times that it isn't essential to avoid all your groceries that aren't organic. There's certainly some that have more pesticides than others. So exercise, nutrition, the lifestyle, and I've made videos in the past about the spokes of a wheel, all of those components, dealing with our microbiome, eating lots of greens, eating all the colors, eating the beans, the greens, the berries. Certainly, if we can, make sure that we're getting whole foods. So instead of drinking the juices, blend them up and make a smoothie out of the juice, out of the fruits themselves, and get the whole plant in you if at all possible. So that's my health update at this point. I didn't want this to go on too long, but I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've experienced long term, and long term, intermediate term. We'll see what actually ends up happening long term. We need to get our rest. We need to get as active as possible. Need to get ourselves in a positive state of mind by surrounding ourselves with things that please us and make us happy. During these times, it's difficult, especially when we're dealing with a disease process, that there's so much misinformation getting thrown at us left and right. And the experts, the real honest experts, are going to say, we just don't know yet. Time will tell. We need many more clinical studies to see what the long-term ramifications are. Certainly, dealing with this viral infection during the acute phases The clinicians have understand much better when patients need to go on oxygen, when patients need to go on a ventilator, when they need circulatory support and all. The problem is, unfortunately, I think we're going to go into another one of these darn peaks where the clinicians are going to get overrun. The clinicians, the support staff, the resources that they have available. So we all got to own the responsibility. Being a good American or being a really good world citizen really means taking care of our brothers and sisters who aren't related to us all around the world. We need to think about them and not just think about our own personal rights. We need to think about how do we have the best impact on the people that are around us. Again, my ethics are self-care, earth care, people care, and future care. And those are really, really important ethics for me to stand behind. That's where I'm coming from when I talk about these things. So with all that said, I think I'll end this video at this point. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. If you found this video of value, please give us a thumbs up. I'm so sorry for those of you who are going through this process. It's very distressing, and I understand that and appreciate it. And my heart and soul go out to you. And we can all take it upon ourselves to help each other out during these times. Take care, folks, and stay healthy. Bye-bye now.